Recording. Okay. Hey guys, so I'm sitting here about to start talking to Trey White. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with little old me.
Yeah, this is the new norm. I'm sorry if you hear some footsteps in the background. That's my dog running out here. But
What's your
yeah,
dog's name?
it's kind of weird. We all in this situation, but we just got to make the best of it.
Yeah. What's your dog's name?
Hunter.
Hunter. Got
Yeah.
it. Well, like I said, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I guess I just wanted to talk to you about your whole background. You're a radio personality for WGCI in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about this experience.
So, where do I begin? So, actually, I work for WGCI along with Q93, which is in New Orleans. I'm in two different markets.
Oh, you're in both. I know you went to school in New Orleans. You started there, and then you come back to Chicago.
Yeah. So I started in New Orleans at Q93. I can't remember the years, but I think I've been in the game now for about 8 years. Started in New Orleans as an intern. What happened was I needed an internship, and I was at the time I was doing like party promoting.
Okay.
And so I was putting like flyers on cars, doing all that stuff to get people to come to the party. And basically, the guy that was kind of over the promotions company, I told him, I'm like, yeah, Greg, I need to get an internship. He was like, oh, well, you could just get an internship at the radio station here. I know the person. I'm like, okay, cool. Mind you, I'm not from New Orleans, so I didn't have a car at the time, so I wasn't really familiar with the market or the radio industry down there. Only radio that I knew really was where I'm from, Chicago, WGCI. I'm like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. I need to be here for the summer anyway because I got to go to summer school, so this works out.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I went in for the interview, and long story short, the promotions director was my camp counselor back in Chicago when I was a child.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really crazy. So I'm like, dang, Christina? And she was like, yeah. So I'm like, damn. So, and mind you, her parents and my parents actually know each other. So, me thought I was an interview, wasn't an interview at all. It was just us talking. And then she was like, okay, cool. When you want to start?
Lord, amen.
So that was cool. So I started doing that. And I did. I cleaned out vans. I got lunches. I did the grunt work. And so it was a time where they could have hired me to be like a promotions assistant. Mm-hmm. And that was when the recession was starting to happen. That's when Jeezy had that recession album. And so everything shut down. Like companies weren't hiring. And unfortunately, I feel like we're about to go through that again.
Yeah.
Companies weren't hiring. People were getting laid off. It was a bad time. So I couldn't get hired, not even for a promotions assistant making $10. Like they weren't hiring anybody. So me being me, I lied. And I was just like, yeah, well, I'm still in the internship course. And I used my old papers. I just kept using my old papers. And I was just still working because I didn't want to leave.
Like, I know.
Experience. I'm like, okay, whatever. I was still just trying to make it work. And I did. Fortunately, we were able to get out the recession.
Okay.
They were able to hire me, promotions assistant. So when they had like live events, I would go out, plug the station. At the time, we used to have to go out to places and take pictures on a little CyberShot camera. Yeah. So I would go out and take pictures so we could upload it to the website. That's how it was. This was before IG was popping.
That's crazy. So you got that experience of both now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So, and we can talk about like the differences. And
yeah, because I definitely want to know, but I don't want to take you off track. So go ahead.
Yeah. And if I'm talking too much, if you want to stop me, let me know. Because I could go on. But so anyway, so I was doing that, promotions or whatever. But I knew, and I'm the type of person, once I'm in the door, I know how to maneuver. And I always tell people, that's the part of the game you got to just get in the door. And then it's up to you to figure out relationships, how you going to move or whatever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I got in the door. I was doing that, which was great. And then promotion. Oh, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, promotions. But I knew I wanted to be on air. But
on air, you wanted to be on air. Were you already what were you in school for?
Broadcasting communications on air. So I knew I wanted to be on air, but I'm like, let me get this job and figure
Get
it
in
out.
there, yeah.
I got in the door and I mastered being promotions assistant. I made sure I was on time. I made sure I go above and beyond that job. Always master what you were hired for.
Okay.
And I did. I on time. I went above and beyond. I even used to cut. At the time, I cut classes to go to work at the radio station. Might not have been the best thing because I ended up doing 5 years in college. But I mean, whatever. I had to do it. I became so focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into that in a little bit. But I ended up doing that, whatever, was working hard, doing that, make sure I was dependable. Anytime they needed me, I was there. Blah, 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 at the bam. So then this particular year, the Saints won the Super Bowl, New Orleans Saints. And so they had a parade downtown New Orleans, which in the radio station is downtown New Orleans. So we did the parade, and then at the time it was my moment to walk back to the radio station to go to our cars.
Okay.
And our the program director, who I was cool with, but didn't really know me that much, he was like, "Oh well, me and you could walk back together." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Oh wow, that was your moment.
We walking back. I'm nervous, but this time I'm nervous.
Yes.
I'm like, "How do I bring this up?" I'm so nervous. I was about to pee on myself. I was so nervous. This was like my first time really having to go after something that I really wanted.
Wow, yeah.
So I was just like, forget it. I was just like, DC, I'm really interested in being on air. Like, what do you think the proper steps are for me to get there? He was like, okay, well, you can submit Airchecks, which is like your resume.
Mm-hmm.
Submit your Airchecks, and then you can, you sit in with the personnel. I'll schedule your time to sit in with a full-time just to learn out the week, and then we just go from there. I'm like, okay, cool. So as soon as he did that, I probably that night I made an Aircheck.
Yes.
Send it to him. He gave me my critiques. Okay.
What was it that he saw on your air check? Like, what was one of his critiques? Can you remember?
Show personality. It sounds like you're reading. You're talking too slow. This doesn't sound like you. You got too much energy. You're yelling in the microphone. Just stuff like that.
Yeah.
The story didn't make sense. You're rambling. Stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I did the air check probably like every 2 days. And at this point I was in school, but it was hard for me because I would be so focused on doing the air checks that I would go to school. I would go into the radio station overnight when nobody was there to put the air checks together because I didn't want to be in the way of anybody, trying to come up there during the day. So I would go up there overnight and be there from a 3-minute air check would take me about 4 hours to do at the time. So I would be there all night from like midnight to maybe 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and go to school the next day. But I used to submit air checks every week. Wow. And I probably believe that he probably didn't even, I used to put him on his card too. Like when he wasn't there, I put him in his office on his desk, computer. And I would be bugging him like, hey, did you hear my air check? Did you
right, because this is not something that, like right now, I can send a PD through email. You had to like, this wasn't no central email.
At the time. I'm aging myself.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
And I remember sending it through email one time and it like crashed his email because the file was so big. Because I guess this is when technology wasn't as
right.
Yeah, and I'm only 30, so but I'm just saying it's not too long ago, but it's still long ago.
Not long ago at all. But yeah, it's just crazy how quick our transition has been over the years. Like that's crazy.
Absolutely. So like his email had crashed one time and they had to get like IT because I sent like this air check over the email. So
I would have been done at that point. I would have been like, oh, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah, so I had to do CDs. But at the same time, I was still coming up there sitting in with personalities and they would blow me off. So one person would be like, oh, I forgot you were coming. Come back tomorrow. But I still just kept coming, like, made sure I came. And there's a reason why they did that, and I'll get to that.
Okay.
But, they would blow me off, send me off. They wouldn't be there. I'll be like, well, damn. But I used to still just do it, be irritated. Okay. But in this type of industry they're not going to give you a date. You just have to be ready when the opportunity presents itself.
Okay.
And so they had another part-time, but they had another part-timer who was on air and she ended up getting pregnant. And so it was 3 part-timers, me including somebody else. He was older than me and just whatever. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity presented where she couldn't fill in. She was having her baby, and so at that point I kept doing the air checks. It was about 20 air checks.
Right.
She was having a baby. She couldn't work, so they were like, "Okay, Trey, we need you." Da 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 da. I'm like, okay, this is.
What?
So then I did it. You know what? I'm missing a part. Once I did my air checks, he let me go in overnight at the radio station. And
Okay.
I would record overnight. So he didn't want me to be in there live because I would be in the building by myself. But he was just like, you can go in there and record. You can put some breaks in for 2 hours.
So you voice track for like the midnight time.
Okay, yeah. So you know the terminology. Okay, cool. So I was voice tracking. He was like, you could voice track from 12 to 2 a.m.
So you have to, basically, isn't that what they call like an audition kind of?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So, but you could voice track it. But me, I was going in there live because I wanted to get that experience of being on the board. And I kind of learned that already, but I really wanted to do it on my own. So I was going in there live, but me, I was going from, he said 12 to 2. I probably did 12 to 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. because this is before Steve Harvey, because Steve Harvey was on this station format at the time.
Yes.
So I used to go all the way. And he wanted me to do like 3 days a week. I did it 5 days a week.
There you
Not
go.
getting paid. No pay. So then I was doing that. And then that happened was the girl was filling in on the mid because the full-time personality was out of town. So the part-timer was filling in, but she ended up having a baby. So they were like, oh, Trey, we need you to fill in during the day. This is your first time. I'm like, okay. So then I did it, which was cool. And then I ended up getting a weekend shifts, which was all great because I was still in New Orleans. I was still in college. So it was cool. I was senior in college. So I'm like, damn, I'm on the radio in college. I'm on the main station.
You're doing it, right?
Yeah, I'm on the main station. I'm not like on the college station. I'm on the main thing. I was making $10 an hour there.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I gained a lot of experience, met a lot of people, did really cool things. So I'm thinking, I have this experience. I'm like, man, when I graduate, the jobs they're gonna be coming. I graduated. It was crickets. Okay, nothing crickets. And at the time, I was still working at the Gap. So I was like, okay.
Oh, so you were doing your retail and your radio job.
I was doing in college. Before I graduated, I was working at the Gap. So I was doing school, the Gap, and the radio station.
Good for you. Okay. I just had that experience. So basically today was technically like my graduation day. Before I started working at a radio station, I was working retail, and then I was like, okay, I got to pick retail or the radio because trying to do both was just not working out for my schedule. Okay.
So I was able to do because I needed the money. And I liked the Gap. I worked at the Gap because at the time I was getting 50% off.
You need your clothes. Right.
Yeah, I was like, well, I can keep this. But then I was able to, the Gap was really good to me. I was able to fluctuate my schedule. Good. I was a good worker. One thing about me is I work. When I get a job, I work. Like that's just how I am. I'm a worker. I like to work. I don't call in sick. I go to work. And so at the Gap, they were really good to me. So I was able to just work down to one day. They knew I wanted the discount, really. So they would like move me to my schedule was so flexible. And they understood I was working for the radio station. So they were excited for me. So when I needed to be off, they understood, like, no question. That's great. And so I thought I was going to get a job. Didn't happen. A year later, I'm like, damn, I need some more money. So I was okay though, because my dad was still throwing me money, but then my dad a year later was like, I got to cut you off. And I was so irritated. I was so mad at my dad. I probably didn't talk to my dad for 2 weeks. So I was just so mad at the time, which I regret. That's just me being a brat.
Yeah.
But anyway, he cut me off. So then I ended up working at Outback Steakhouse.
And this was after graduation, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking I got this degree. I got all this experience. The jobs are going to be there. They weren't coming in. So, and I was applying. I actually applied to work at WGCI. And
so were you expecting jobs to be at the current radio station that you were at the moment, or were you trying to get jobs elsewhere?
I was trying to get jobs elsewhere because at that radio station at Q93, it's a heritage station. So their personalities have been there for 20 plus years. Matter of fact, they're still there. Yeah. So I was just like, there's no opportunity here. It's okay. And I was open to move anyway. Because, when you get in this game, you have to expect to move.
That's what one of my questions is going to be like. So you already mentally prepared for traveling, basically.
Yeah, definitely prepared. So did that or whatever. And then I ended up working at Outback for another year. because that actually paid my bills more than the radio station because I was making good money. And I always tell people, if you're in this type of industry, you don't want to get a job where they're not flexible towards your schedule. It's a sacrifice, but it worked out for me because at Outback, once again, I was a good worker. I was dependable server when they needed me. And when I needed to be off, they knew I was working at the radio station. So when I needed to be off, they understood. Days where everybody else couldn't get off, like Valentine's Day, the radio station had events, I could be off. They knew. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm a nice person. So I've always just been respectful of people.
Yeah.
And so, so when that time came, the Outback was really good to me. I made good money, cash. Some days I was walking out there making $300, $400 a night. Like I was making good money.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It was on my feet, but it also taught me how to adjust and talk to different type of people. You're gonna come in
That's
Outback.
a good thing. That's good.
Yeah. You're gonna be around different types of demographics, white people, racist people, people that don't like black people, but they still got to deal with you because you serving their food. Like you learn you learn how to work with. This is my first time actually working with majority of being the I can't think of the word, but if it's 20 white people that work there, it might be two of us, two black people. So this is my first time being in an environment like that and learning how to adjust, which was really great. And then I applied. They had a position open up at GCI, and then I applied 2 years after college, and I finally got the job. And then, because mind you, 2 years prior, I applied to work at GCI. So 2 years later, I applied, got the job, and I'm like, man, I'm going back home.
So at this point, when you got hired to go back to Chicago, what was your current position at the radio station in New Orleans?
Still like part-time promotions, radio person that fill in, cleaning out vans, still doing all that type of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, making $10 an hour, no money, and I'm frustrated. I'm thinking I was ready to go. Thinking you got all this experience.
It makes sense. Like it seems like it would just happen.
Yeah, I'm working for this big company. I got all of this experience, man. Please, them jobs ain't gone. So yeah, I ended up at GCI. So I've been here now for 4 years. And honestly, that period of work of reaching out to people and to this day, I still don't get replies sometimes or whatever. You have to have tough skin in this game. If you don't have tough skin, you're not fit for it. Yeah. And there are days where you can get frustrated. Yeah. But you can't stay in that frustration for long. Right. You have I'm not perfect. It'd be probably last week I was mad about something. But, I still don't give up. And there'd be times I'm like, damn, I'm over this. But then you have to have a good support system too that encourages you. So I have I don't tell everybody my moves or what I'm doing, but I have a couple of friends who are in the industry who are positive, who I can talk to. Okay. They give really good advice. And it's important to have a mentor too. And I have a mentor who I literally talked to yesterday about a frustration that I was dealing with, who helped me kind of get through that. So, that was literally 24 hours ago.
That's crazy. I guess because you would look at it, I would look at you and with your experience, where you are now, the years that you've been in the game, and it's you would think that it gets easier and that you would no longer have these little frustrations that come up and happen. But
no,
that's crazy.
No, not at all. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Everything ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But when you have this type of job, people automatically assume everything is just great, glitz and glamour, when it's really not that. But I do know that you just got to continue to work. You got to work hard, and you have to have tunnel vision towards your career. And not everybody's going to believe in your specific talent, but you have to, continue to believe in yourself and keep some people around you that believe in you, to get it.
Amen. That's good. That's true. Wait, so can we backtrack, rewind, and I want to talk about the differences between then and how it is now. Because you say you used to have to go to these events with the little capture or whatever, the little camera thing, and how it's just a whole different experience.
Yeah. So I tell people that radio is not just about listening on the car anymore. It's about social media. I feel like even with going after jobs. Your Instagram, your social media is your resume
Yeah.
now. That's your resume.
That's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
not just the Aircheck. It's the whole pack. You got to have the total package. So, social media, it's not just about what they hear. They want to see you in the studio. They want to meet you. They want to touch you. Da, 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 da. So that's the hardest part. You're going to have creeps.
Oh my
All
God.
types of, they have a little bit more access to you. So that part has definitely changed, and being on top of it, because I'm still not on top of it the way that I should be. And I always feel guilty about things. I'm like, man, I hate doing this. But then it's like, I know that it's a part of the game now.
Right. And what is that about you? Is it because you're used to the way things used to be, but why do you feel like you don't really connect with maybe posting all the time on the media or social media or whatever the case may be?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's just
I don't know. I just be like.
Are you one of those people who like social media though? I know there's some people if you weren't doing this, you probably wouldn't even have an Instagram.
So I would have something. So I think it's really weird how a millennial or someone who's 20 or 18 and that have no social media, and you're under 40. I think that's really weird to not have nothing.
I think that people usually are lying to me. I'm like, you gotta be.
You gotta have one of them. Now, I might not be. So I think if I wasn't in this profession, I would have something. I don't know if I would necessarily be on all of them. TikToks, the Snapchats, the Facebook, the Instagram.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be on all of them, I don't think. Probably more Facebook and IG, probably. And Twitter. And I'm on Twitter. I forgot about that. Twitter. I'll probably do Twitter, probably 3 the most. That's what I feel like most people have. They probably have them all, but you're probably more active on your Facebook and your IGs.
Right.
So
if you weren't in the radio industry, what would you see yourself doing? If this was not media,
I don't know, because I never was good in math. I hated school. So I thought dentistry was cool, but I'm like, I ain't good
dentistry.
at math.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't know what I would do.
That's crazy. Wait, so when you were in college, you went to Xavier.
Xavier,
was there a radio station there? Did you do radio in college?
Yeah, so I did more TV stuff in college.
Okay.
Which is where I'm really trying to go into now. I want to do both. But I did TV more in college. Didn't do radio at all in college. I wanted to be a news reporter or something in the news. And then I got into the radio station, and I loved the environment of it. And that's what made me, want to do radio.
So what do you want to do as far as TV is concerned now? Do you want to be
Michael Strahan?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Michael Strahan. I like the stuff that he does. He's not the serious person on Good Morning America. He's not the serious person on the show that he has with I think it's called GMA3 or something like that. He's not serious. He's not serious. With his, he does serious stuff, but it's lighthearted serious, That's the approach. I don't want to be I'm trying to think of an example. Yeah, I want to be like Michael Strahan, Ryan Seacrest type vibe.
Cool. I was gonna say, when you were saying newscaster, I guess the environments are different when you're a radio personality. When you look at news people, those personalities, that they're very I'm like, do you have fun? Because it seems like they're so straight laced, and they can't really, even on their social media, it seems like they really can't be themselves because they have to keep up a image.
I think it depends on what market you're in and what time of day of news. So, for instance, I've done TV appearances on the news, morning news here. Mm-hmm. Well, morning news is different now. It's not just news; it's lifestyle, entertainment. So they have entertainment reporters. They have lifestyle people that don't really deal with newsy stuff. So I feel like the morning people on morning shows are a little bit more looser because it's a little bit more, it's not as heavy in the morning.
Right.
As opposed to night, they're a little bit more heavier. So I don't want to do night, but who knows? I might get so good doing TV that I might get offered a night job. If it's right, I would do it, because I like the TV. I really like the TV world. And that's what I've been adamant about trying to get in. And I've had opportunities, and then you do stuff, and then you email, they don't reply. So it's like I said, you're still going through those cycles and me trying to get into TV has been hard, but it's been it's been happening. Different things have been happening. So we'll see.
Right. I seen it. I think it was 2010. You did something where you were on BET 106 in Park.
Oh yeah, you scrolled all the way through.
I was looking. The reason.
Yeah, I did. So I guess I forgot this story. When I first graduated college, they were looking for 106 in Park host. So I flew to New York with like $50 to try to go find a job at BET,
Okay.
and then I got there, and they were closed. Like got there, and it was like, yeah, we're not here today. So what happened was, how did I get that? I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember how I got that. I really don't. Did somebody reach out to me?
Wait, so this was like so you were still in school?
No, I graduated at the time.
Okay.
I can't think of how I got on 106 in Park, but I did it. It was good. The producer ended up calling me like, man, you were really great. Like you were it was like a virtual type thing that they were doing. And then they were like, you were really good, man. I think you should really keep in contact with me. So I kept in contact with the person. I ended up flying out to New York to meet them. After that, on my own dime, I ended up flying out there, and then we met. And then like 2 days later, the show got canceled. So I was just like, oh, okay, well, yeah. At least I did go on it. I made it on there at least.
Right. So what did you do when you were on there? Like, I mean, clearly 106 in Park is a music show, but like, what?
So it was like the main host in the studio, and they did like a virtual thing where like we were interacting via like Skype at the time or whatever that they were doing. And I was on the show virtually. So from where I was, and they were there. So it wasn't really
like, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't on there the full time, maybe like a good 2.5 minutes maybe.
But still, so that was Roxy and Terrence at that time then?
No, it was somebody else. This was like back
leaving.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That was
cool. That's a dope experience.
Yeah.
I guess so. What would you say? I guess we already kind of touched on that, like your advice in general to somebody who's even trying to make it into the radio industry. Because there's some people who don't have those promotion jobs or like not even like a board hopping job. But if they're on the outside, especially in this time today, I feel like you can't really get a job that much. So it's like, is it about networking, you think? What would you say?
Definitely networking and getting in the door. So if they have a position open as a sales assistant, take it. If they have a receptionist position open, take it. Even if they have a promotions assistant job available, take it. I know here in Chicago, they hire, well, before coronavirus, they would hire like 30 promotions people at a time. And I know that majority of people that get in promotions don't want to do promotions. They want to be on air, which I get. So I'm always open to people saying like, hey, Trey, I want to come up there and sit with you. Da, 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 da. I'm cool with that. But I'm not going to remind you. Like if you say, hey, I want to do it, you show interest. I'm like, okay, cool. Hit me up, text me, hit me up on social, you know, especially if I work with them, I'll be like, hey, just text me, let me know, we can schedule a time. It's all good. But if you don't do that, you don't hit me up, I'm not about to chase you. And I realized that when I was going to New Orleans in the beginning, when I was sitting in with the personalities, they would blow me off. But they ended up telling me like, yeah, we did that. I did that because so many people say they want to do it and then they never follow up.
Oh, that makes sense.
So she was like, when you were actually coming in persistently and you know, I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe he really does want this. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started to be taken seriously. So I definitely appreciate that. And I'm to that day now. Like, yeah, you can come up and, yeah, Chump, you want to come up, sit with me? Cool. I can show you some things. But like I said, I'm at the point now where I'm not going to remind you at all. Like,
so do you still do what they used to do, where it's like they would come up, let's first, the person comes to you and they're ready for the day that you guys schedule. Are you going to be like, oh, I forgot you was coming, come tomorrow? Do you do that? Are you? Okay.
I will. If I did forget, I'll be like, oh yeah. But I don't really forget. Yeah. Because I always set the schedule. So if they hit me up, I'll be like, okay, well, yeah, come this week. This will be good. And I don't wait like months out. I'll be like, this week might not be good, but come the next week. It's literally the longest might be 2 weeks from our conversation. But I give them a date. And I'll say come between, I don't say in the beginning of the show because I just like to get in my groove. But I usually have them come like in the middle. Yeah, for sure.
How do you prep for your show?
It's kind of easier now. You got Shade Room and all these
Right.
different outlets. So that part is good. In the time, you just have to go on to different blog sites,
Mhm.
post different information. But now they got the Shade Room. Everything's at the tip of your finger now. So, and I think that's the hardest part about the industry now is because you're telling them information that they might know already. But now you have to put your unique spin on it. I love callers. That's
Yeah,
what I,
I love your confessions that you do on
oh,
your
okay,
show.
yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
cool. So, how I was gonna ask you, how do you keep your content fresh? But I feel like that's also good because you have these callers call in. It's a way
Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I mean, that's what keeps it fresh. I depend on callers. And it sucks because we're working from home, and I don't have any callers. So, and I really want to hear from the people. Like, I really want to know how they're feeling during this situation. How they feel about the stores. I really miss that aspect of it. When I'm working from home, it's just me talking, and I'm literally in a closet doing it because the sound quality is better, and it's just, I hate working from home. I don't like doing the radio stuff
But
from home.
actually, how are you holding up with this? Like being in the house, having to do radio.
I hate doing that, but my dad has a business. It's been a blessing and a curse. Not even a curse. It's just been a blessing in disguise. Like, my dad has a business. He's been successful business owner for over 30 years.
Yeah.
But I've been wanting to go in there to really like help him do online and stuff like that. But just like my time, I would have so much stuff going on. I would say I'm gonna do it, then I know I might be tired.
Mhm.
But this coronavirus my time has, like, my radio. I'm not going to the radio station. I don't require or doing as much as I was doing outside of the radio station, doing those things. So that all has kind of been put on hold. So it's giving me time to go to my dad's job and really help him. It has been really good. Like, we've seen significant increases on things, just a lot of things that have been great. And I always tell people in this game is you have to have multiple streams of income. Do not depend on that radio station, because once they're done with you or they're over, this is a cutthroat game. They could literally be like, we're going in a different direction. It's not working out anymore. It's a cutthroat game. And I've seen it over and over again. I don't want to be that talent, because I know one day I'm going to be too old to be on GCI. That's just the reality. Or any type of young urban station. I'm
Right.
going to go out of that demographic. That's just what it is.
Mhm.
That's why I feel like TV might have a little bit more longevity.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, I don't want to be that person where I'm living like this and doing all this, but then when my job gets cut, I have to get rid of my car. I have to move out where I live. I can't live the way that I was. I don't want to be that person. So what I've really been learning about this corona is looking at the different opportunities that's in front of me, which is the stuff that my dad has for his business, and making income off of that, which has been really, really good for me. So
That's great. So how do
that's
you feel like that's gonna like affect? So after, let's just say all of this is wrapped up and we're able to go back to our normal lives, how has this coronavirus and the quarantine changed the way you even look at that? Like, do you feel like you're going to make more time to make sure you're going to help to keep this other source?
yeah, because I like money and I
Yeah.
like seeing the results. So I don't have to sleep all day. If I have to work hard at the radio station and do my media stuff and that, I'm gonna make it work. I
Yeah.
don't have kids, so
Oh, there you go. Well, then, yeah.
I'm gonna work hard. So it's not gonna affect. And then what I'm doing with my dad's business, I don't necessarily have to be. I'm doing like more like online stuff, so I don't necessarily have to be there
Right.
all day. And I'm not. And at the radio station, I'm not there all day. As a talent, you're there 4 hours, 5 hours
Yeah.
of a day. So you're not there all day. It's 24 hours in a day. So, you can
Got some time.
make it
What
work.
would be your advice be to people, I guess, people in this time who are, wanting to be in the media world during this quarantine? How would you say to keep pushing content? What would your advice be to people?
Take this time to really reach out to people, ask for advice. People are on their phones now. Or reach out to people if you want to have a conversation with someone. Don't be afraid to reach out to that person. And also polish your craft. Like, get better. If, like, for instance, I will regret not learning how to edit and doing all or graphic design. Because that's just so I hate having to pay people to do it
I know,
and
yeah.
also having to wait on their time to do it. So that's one thing I've actually been, as we're talking, I've been meaning to like really like learn, take the time and just kind of learn how to do at least some basic things on my own. So just take this time to really perfect your craft, know where you want to go, have tunnel vision, because this corona is affecting everybody. It's not just the way we move. Everything is going to change now.
Right, that's true.
You just got to be ready. I think I don't know where the industry. I mean, obviously jobs are getting cut, which is
Right.
scary. So you have to be in the mindset of that. And I think the trajectory of businesses and the way companies do things are just going to be different. Even not just in this industry, in every industry. I mean, if you think about it, people are working from home now. Companies have these big old buildings downtown, all these big old office spaces and these really cool places. I think they're gonna realize, wait a minute, so you're able to work from home, do more tasks at home, still watch your kids live all from home.
Jeez, it's crazy. The
We don't need
realization.
these we don't need these big old buildings for you to sit up here. We can just have one floor and have a meeting space where you can work from home and do all that, and you can do multiple jobs. Oh, we don't need all these positions anymore. So I really think that you know, it's gonna be really weird. And I don't know what the future is.
It's scary. It's nerve wracking. It gives me personally anxiety, especially being, I feel, for even like just college graduates around this time who are, you come out of college and you're looking for a job. Like that's the first thing you're looking for. And like to be graduating in this time is like,
Where do you work?
I work at iHeartRadio. I'm a board op.
Oh, for where?
iHeart in Philly. I'm in Philly.
What station?
I work for I work with all the stations. So I work for Q102, Power 99, WGAS.
Oh, so you know DC.
When you said DC, I was gonna say that's my program director, but I didn't want to cut
Oh
you
yeah,
off.
that's one of my mentors. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so DC is the one that walked me. I was the
I was
one.
gonna. Oh my. Yeah, I was gonna. When you said DC, I was gonna say like, oh wow, my program director's name is DC. That's my boss. But I was like, I wanted to let you finish. I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah, that's there. So he was the one that
Oh
so
wow.
when you get a moment, you can email him or talk to him, please.
That's
Please.
DC. That's who you talk to. That's crazy.
Yeah, very cool, calm DC. Always wear sweatpants.
He's so funny. Why did I see? I was so funny because every time I see him, when you talked about like when you were talking about going and walking with him, I was gonna say like also I'm so scared of my program director. I don't know why he's so nice, and I just be like, I do.
Yeah, I was scared too. No,
Why? He's so
talk,
nice, but he
no,
scares
yeah.
me.
I mean, because it's just nerve wracking when you want
Yeah,
to, do something. But yeah, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, DC was the one that I was walking back with, submitting my Airchecks to.
that's
And he's
crazy.
the one that put me on. Yeah.
DC, good old. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I thought it was ironic when you said that. When you said DC earlier, I was like, but it could be a lot of DCs in the world. So let me not all be all dramatic. But that's crazy.
Yeah. When he left, I was sad. I'm like, dang, you really leaving? Because I never experienced like a boss moving up, and this is my first corporate type of job. So
Right?
like when he left and went to Philly, I was like, damn, you really leaving?
I
I
know.
haven't seen it, and the thing is, I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to DC in probably a year. I need to reach out. It's funny you said that because I told myself yesterday I was gonna text him today, and I didn't do it yet.
And now look, this is your confirmation. You got to text DC.
Yeah, I'm gonna text. I should text him right now, but I'll probably do it
Wow.
tomorrow. But yeah, he was the DC Derek Corbett. He is the.
Good old DC.
Does he still send his office with the lights off?
Yes. So I think that's when I first started working there, it used to scare me because I was like, who isn't this man in this office that's pushed to the back? It was just like such a weird, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Now
he's in there in the dark, very deep, heavy voice, very chill type of,
so
like a chill type of person. He's
so
not like loud and
It's just
No.
real chill. I seen him on Saturday because I haven't seen, a lot of people hasn't been, I still go to the studio as a board op. A lot of people haven't been in there, but I seen him on Saturday and he's just like, everything, he just moves so smooth.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that's DC.
Yeah.
Wow. Please tell him that you talk to him. He's gonna
That's so crazy. I can't wait to tell him. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. He
please
gave
tell
you
him.
so that's the goal. I mean, DC to give me my job like
Oh, well,
yours.
you're in a good spot, honestly.
Yeah.
What
I asked him to I guess when all of this happened and me being like, I guess like I have my shy moments where I'm scared a lot of times. Like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, what am I gonna do? So I asked him first. I was like, when is it a good time? Because I'm still bored. I'm still learning my job. But when would be a good time for me, like, to pitch ideas to you or even like you to hear my air check? And then all of this broke out. And like I know he was like going crazy. So he was like, we'll set up a time for us to talk, X, Y, and Z. So now
yeah, and he will. Just remind him, but he will. Trust me, I was the same way. He did. He might not say yeah the right away, but yeah, because we were walking back. But at that time, before we were walking back, I was thinking, well, when is the right time to do it? When is the
that's what
right?
I was gonna say.
There's no right time.
And do you have
Just
people that tell you like it's never gonna be a right time? You just gotta ask.
never a right time. It's
Yeah.
never a right time. So, um, yeah, I would do it ASAP. Um, yeah. So you've been board opping. Okay, cool. So are you board opping for like for their morning show? Like, what are you board op for?
So when I board up, I am there. I do the Steve Harvey show. I do Steve Harvey in the morning.
They still do that, or is it not automated yet?
Well, now it is due to everything that's been going on. So, but I still go in on. They just started to do that. So when I got hired in November, I still had to go in there, push the buttons, do all of that. So now when I go for my regular shift on Wednesdays, I just like make sure everything's running smoothly. And then I was doing a live show, but since COVID, I haven't been doing that. I do Club Kane on Q102 on Sundays.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I do that show. And then like I have a shift on the weekend. It's just like doing the Steve Harvey show because they didn't make that one automatic at all. So I do that and then I just like watch the cluster basically, seg for the next show for another station.
Oh yeah, keep doing that. And it's gonna be frustrating. You're gonna be like, oh God. But just keep being dependable. That's hard. It's so many board ops. I've seen it. They're never dependable. I've even had to step in roles and do board op work just because I'm the type of person. I'm a team player, so we just have to get it done. But like, be dependable. I mean, sometimes you got to sacrifice. If you got to be there on the weekend and miss a party, you got to do it. You got to miss a concert, got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Put your time in. If you're under DC, you're in Philly, you're in a great market. That's good. That's actually really, really good.
And that's what's kind of makes it a little bit more intimidating because you have the people say like, well, you're gonna have to move to a smaller market to get your start. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
you might have to move, but get good experience. You can really get some really great.
Yeah.
I would take advantage, and the fact that a lot of their stations are still live. The way the company is shifting, things are changing. A lot of stuff is voice track now. So the fact that you're in a market that has live bodies still, which is great. Now we can stop the recording if you want to just talk a little bit more.
I'm gonna say bye to you at least.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you one more question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you about, I guess, what would be your advice to people like trying to find their niche? You know what I mean? Like their thing. What was your journey like finding what works for Trey?
Polish yourself. So I know I'm not a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a comedian. That's just not my thing. I know that I'm not into gossip. That's just not my thing.
Yeah, okay.
I know I'm not into, I don't know, fashion. I mean, I like fashion, but I don't male fashion. Like, yeah, I'm not, that's just me. But what I'm into is being a person that you can talk to. I'm into helping. I'm into going to schools and, being positive to kids. I'm into, people have a different approach of doing things. I'm not the type to just make someone feel bad. And if that's what makes them successful, that's them. That's just not me.
Right.
I'm So my niche is to anybody is to focus on you and what you're really into, and let that convey over the microphone.
And is it okay to be a person in a radio who's really not that into talking about the celebrity gossip?
Yes.
It makes it seem like it's so bad.
I believe that. I don't think, and some bosses might think differently, but and I'm not a boss, but I know for me, I'm not going to sell myself short. I'm not going to say grew up poor, and I didn't grow up like that. You know, it's certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just who I am. I can't help that I came up this way. I like helping kids. I like going out to eat. I like talking about food and stuff that I eat. But I'm not the type of and I also understand people too. I'm not the type of person, I don't go on the radio and be like, yeah, I was in VIP and I was with this person. That's not me, because I don't really get off on that. I don't care about being in VIP. I like being regular. You know
Right.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I talk about regular stuff. This happened at the Popeye. I love Popeye. This what happened at the Popeyes the other day.
Right.
I saw this. I went on this date with this girl. This happened.
Right.
I'm single. This is going on. That's the type of personality I am. So I'm just me. And my personality, I feel like when I'm over the airwaves, is your homeboy. I'm Trey, the regular type of dude. He's from the city, grew up. He's just trying to make it as a millennial, just like you and me. Mm-hmm. That's how I portray myself over
and do you feel like you get a lot of great feedback being that way? Like people.
Yeah, I really believe that. That's why people can connect with you, because you are yourself and you're not trying to be anybody else. I don't put up a facade. I'll say on the radio, man, look, the bills is due, money's a little tight right now. Yeah. That's what I do. I don't care. I'm not afraid to live my life on the radio because I'm living my truth.
Yeah. Amen.
So it don't really affect me. So
your advice to that person trying to find their thing is just to be yourself.
Be yourself. Be yourself. And you don't have to, I feel like the more yourself, the more you connect with people. And you'll be surprised that what you think that ain't nobody else going through, somebody else is. Like literally. So, and that's my goal. Like if I just touch, if one person just hears what I'm saying, you did something. Yeah. So, and not everybody's gonna like you. You got to get over that too. You got to realize that everybody's not gonna like you. You're gonna see feedback. You're gonna get people to talk about you. You're gonna be able to do this. You're gonna be able to do that. But you know what I'm saying. You know where you stand, and that's what you just got to deal with. That's what comes with the industry. I was one of my coworkers, Kendra. She's a good person to follow. She actually was
love Kendra G, right?
Yeah.
I follow her. She's awesome.
So she's really good. And I actually talk to her about things when I'm frustrated. And she gives me the real. And I'm really blessed that I'm able to have someone that I could. Yeah. And she really be like, well, you messed up. You shouldn't have did that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Dang, I forgot. So she does this thing with Instagram Live with singles, and it's really funny. And so I was on there, and then I guess one of the girls was on there, and I said some type of comment, and the girl wrote me a long message talking about how I was disrespectful. I shouldn't do this. I'm in the limelight, and you have people looking up to, and she drew me out, and I felt bad. But then I was like, I'm not perfect. And what she said, I could see, you know what I'm saying? I guess, but I'm like, I'm not perfect. And I kind of took it hard, but I'm like, I'm not perfect. Like, everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to like what you say. So you just got to deal with it and roll with it. And I told her, I was just like, I appreciate it.
And I don't think that it's fair that you can't be who you are because you're in the limelight. Because we're all still, not we are, but everyone's still just being a normal person. So it's like, a normal person could have said that you'd been cool with it probably.
Yeah.
Since I'm like Trey White and I'm in the limelight.
Yeah. So she was like, man, before, because she lived in Vegas. Okay. And I think everybody was like making jokes on the thing. So she was like, yeah, I live in Vegas. So basically Kendra talks to singles. And so she was like, yeah, I live in Vegas and I do this. So people were like, well, what do you do? And then I commented, I was like, she probably has an OnlyFans or something like that. And she just hated it. That
was like the basic cutest comment ever. People joke about that. There's people in the locker room.
People were saying she's probably a stripper, an escort, all types of things. And I was just like, she probably got an OnlyFans. She looked like she got an OnlyFans. It was literally a joke. And she hated it. So I felt bad, but then I was just like, I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
And she like kept writing me long paragraphs. And I was just like, this is too much energy. I'm not giving you all of this energy.
Yeah, no, that's too much. Well, I appreciate you and your time, taking the time to chat with me today.
I think this is really cool. I always say I used to reach out to people and they never reply. So when I see people writing me about stuff like this, I always reply because I don't want to be that person and I reply. And I'm pretty sure I can just bet you probably wrote a whole bunch of people to try to do this. And how many people replied?
People don't respond.
Yeah. So I mean, I already know. So you ain't got to tell me. It's like, how many people replied though, responded?
I'm not saying that I send out mass messages. I look at people's pages and see where I can get something from. I'm trying to think. I've done so far my quarantine interviews. I've done the producer and a recording artist, Ron Browse. You know, he had that song Pop Champagne. I did him. I talked to Spencer Paysinger, who is based off, All American. The show is based off of his life. Spoke with him.
I've been trying to get to him. How'd you get to him? From my
lying.
I'm serious.
So accessible. I just literally sent him a DM like I sent you.
Okay.
I talked to him. I did like a music artist that I actually went to school with. And I did a media personality in Maryland. And now you, my quarantine interviews.
Yeah. Well, yeah, keep doing it. Keep reaching out to people.
I'm trying,
Yeah, keep doing it. If I want to interview somebody, if I'll go to their page and if they follow a mutual person that I know, I'll send them the person I know, like, hey, can you send them, would you mind sending them a message or reaching out?
Really?
I do.
So when you have to do like celeb interviews, does that usually go through the radio station or do you do that on your own as a personality?
It depends. And it depends, and also just depends on your relationships. That's another thing in this business. You have to build relationships with people. So the stuff that I've been doing so far has been truly based on relationships and people that I know.
But how do you build relationships when you're just starting? You know what I mean? Like how you had to start somewhere. Where'd that start?
Well, I've been in the game for a little bit, 8 years.
I know, but you didn't always have these connections. You know what I mean?
Well, you make the connections really with the record reps when they come to the radio station. They bring these artists. That's who you get cool with. And they, their job is to get publicity for their artists. So, I would definitely reach out to them. Or even if they're not even, good thing is get with artists who the record reps might bring around, and the personalities who they don't want, if they don't want to interview them, you be that person to interview. So even if they have a digital department, I don't know how big it is at iHeart, and like I said, we can stop recording this. You can get more questions I'm pretty sure you want to ask some real questions. And I could tell you, but reach out to that digital department and be like, I have this idea. Can I do interview? Or even DC, like, hey, the interviews, the new artists that, people might not want to interview, I wouldn't mind doing it. That's how you build relationships, because you don't know how big someone's going to be.
Right.
You just don't know how big their career is. And once you build that relationship, an artist will remember, like, damn, oh, you was that person. You did interview me. I remember you. And they're going to be more receptive of talking to you more, for sure. Okay. Not every artist, but a lot of them.
Majority of them. That's real. Well, thank you so much again.
No problem.
I appreciate this a lot. So this will be posted up, and I'll make sure I tag you in it, of course.
Okay. But I really good luck. Well, not good luck. Blessings to you in this crazy game. But you can always hit me up, and just if you have questions, I'll give you honest opinion, honest answer.
But I need that. All right. Thank you.